We met in college. She had this laugh that lit up rooms, and I was the quiet guy who somehow made her laugh more. Her name was Emily. I wasn't flashy, didn't have a six-pack, but I had dreams, and she said she wanted to build them with me. We dated through college, got married a year after graduation, and moved into a small apartment that slowly became a home. Everything felt solid, steady, like we were building something unbreakable. I'd wake up early to make her coffee, memorize how she liked it, 2 sugars, no cream. She'd write little notes in my lunchbox on stressful days. We were that couple. People said we gave them hope. I believed that too. Over time, we did well for ourselves. Bought a house, got promotions. On paper, we were thriving. But then things shifted. It wasn't loud or sudden. Just off.
She stopped asking about my day.
Started guarding her phone like it was a diary. Her laughs at my jokes felt forced, and her hugs were quick, distracted. One evening, she mentioned her ex, Jason. Randomly. Said she ran into him at a store. No big deal, she claimed. I brushed it off. But his name started coming up again and again. Little comparisons. Jason used to love that movie too. Jason was really into fitness. Subtle, casual, but too frequent. She started working late. More girls' nights out. Always on her phone. Always smiling at something she wouldn't share. I told myself I was overthinking it, that it was a rough patch. Every couple has them, right? Then one night, while she was in the shower, her phone lit up. A message preview. Last night was everything I needed. My stomach dropped. I didn't even need to open it. I knew. I just sat there, staring at the screen like it was written in fire. She came out of the shower, saw me holding the phone, and froze. Didn't panic, didn't scream. Just said, "We need to talk." No apology, no guilt. Just that. She told me she'd reconnected with Jason a few weeks ago. Said she was confused, and that things just happened. I didn't even ask why. I just asked one thing. Do you love him? She hesitated. Then, like twisting the knife, she said, he's just better. In every way. More confident. More passionate. More of a man. That was it. I felt like I got slapped and stabbed in the same breath. Years of loyalty, love, shared memories, swept away with one sentence. I didn't shout. Didn't throw things. I just got up, packed a bag, and said, "You made your choice." She didn't stop me. Didn't cry. Just watched me walk out like she was letting go of some old coat. I drove off with my heart in pieces, but even then, something inside me knew. This wasn't the end. It was just the moment the illusion finally cracked. Let me know when you're ready for section 2. The next morning, I woke up in a cheap hotel room. The air felt stale, my head heavier than any hangover I'd ever known. I stared at the ceiling, numb. The words she said played on repeat in my head. He's better. In every way. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. She didn't just cheat. She measured me, found me lacking, and told me to my face. I didn't respond to her text that morning. Just a couple messages at first, nothing dramatic. We should talk. I'm sorry you had to find out like that. No real emotion. I turned my phone off. For the next 2 days, I didn't eat much. Just walked around aimlessly. Every corner of the city reminded me of something we'd shared. A restaurant, a park, a song playing in a passing car. I wanted to scream, but I stayed silent. On the third night, I got a call from her best friend. She told me Emily was worried about me. Funny. She worried about me now? I didn't reply. But something told me I needed closure. Not from her, just from myself. So I went back to the house. She was home. Door unlocked. Same perfume in the air. Same furniture. But it felt like someone else's life. She was sitting on the couch, pale, eyes puffy. She started talking the moment I walked in. It was a mistake, she said. I didn't mean for it to happen. I stood silent. She kept going. It started as just coffee. Catching up. He made me feel seen. Like the old me. I didn't plan anything. I looked at her and asked, "How long?" "Almost 2 months." I nodded. That hurt. More than I expected. I wasn't just a victim of a slip-up. I'd been living beside someone who made that choice over and over for weeks. I asked her what made her do it. She hesitated, then said the words again. Jason made me feel things you don't. He's more passionate, more adventurous. I don't know, it just felt different. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because that's what people do when they finally stop caring. I asked, so now what? You want to be with him? She shook her head.
No.
He said he's not ready for anything serious. He moved to another city yesterday. Of course. Classic. I picked up the last of my things. She tried to stop me at the door, asked if we could fix this, said she still loved me. I said nothing, just looked her in the eyes and walked out. Outside, the night was quiet, colder than usual, but it was the first time in days I could breathe. I knew then, there was no going back. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by someone who looked like her, but couldn't see what we had until it was already broken. Ready for section 3? It started with silence. No calls answered. No texts returned. She wasn't blocked. I wanted her to see I was choosing not to respond. That was louder than any insult I could throw back at her. At first, she kept her pride. Short messages like, I hope you're okay, or we should talk. But when she realized I wasn't playing the game, her tone changed fast. 2 days after I left, she called 12 times in a row. Then came the longer texts. Apologies. Regrets. Blaming herself. Saying she was confused. Saying she didn't know what she was thinking. Then she sent a voice note, 3 minutes of crying, saying she felt like she ruined her entire life in a single moment. I didn't reply. Later, I heard from a mutual friend that Jason, the guy she left our marriage for, ghosted her. Right after she told him, I found out. Apparently, he wasn't interested in anything more than a fling. She told him she left her husband, and he told her to figure her own stuff out. Then blocked her the next day. She'd given up everything, trust, love, a shared life, for a guy who didn't even stick around long enough to watch it fall apart. That was when reality hit her. She stayed home from work.
Stopped eating.
Cried to anyone who'd listen. Her friends stopped visiting. Her parents were disappointed. The house got quiet. I imagine the walls echoed louder than any argument we'd ever had. She reached out again. This time, it wasn't anger or blame. It was desperation. One night, I got another voice note. She was sobbing, barely able to speak. I made the worst mistake of my life. I traded real love for something fake. I thought I was missing something in our marriage, but it turns out I was just empty. You didn't fail me, I failed you. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed to say it. Still, I didn't reply. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't even about pride. It was about peace. I'd spent years giving her everything, loyalty, love, patience. And when I needed just a fraction of that in return, she handed it to someone else. The next day, she showed up at the apartment I was renting. I didn't answer the door. She sat on the front steps for 2 hours. Eventually, she left. Then came the letter. 5 pages, handwritten. Full of memories, regret, and a final plea. If there's even a 1% chance we can rebuild what we had, I'll wait for you. She wouldn't say it out loud, but I knew what haunted her the most. It wasn't just that she cheated. It was that she believed the other man was better, and now she knew he wasn't. That line, the one she used to destroy me, was now destroying her. And I wasn't going to be the one to fix it. Let me know when you're ready for section 4, the final closure. A week later, she came back one last time. This time, I answered the door. She looked different.
Smaller.
Not physically, just broken in a way that was hard to describe. Her voice was soft, barely more than a whisper, when she asked if she could talk. I let her in. No shouting. No drama. Just silence as she stepped into a space that no longer felt like hers. She started with the same apologies I'd already heard. Said she didn't recognize herself anymore. That she missed me. Missed us. That she'd wake up every day hoping it was just a dream. That she hadn't actually thrown everything away for someone who disappeared the second things got real. She said she was willing to do anything to fix it. Therapy. Counseling. Time apart. Whatever it took. She kept repeating one phrase. I'll earn you back. I let her talk. Then I asked her one question. If I had told you what you told me, that someone else was better in every way, that you just didn't feel the same passion with you, would you have stayed? She didn't answer. Her eyes just filled with tears, and that was enough. I told her I'd filed for divorce, that I'd made peace with what happened, but I couldn't live my life trying to forget what she said. You don't accidentally humiliate someone you love. That kind of cruelty doesn't come from confusion. It comes from contempt. She begged. Asked if we could at least take a break instead. See where things go. Said we had too much history to just walk away from. But I wasn't walking away from history. I was walking away from someone who treated me like a placeholder. I told her I hoped she'd heal. That one day she'd forgive herself. But I couldn't be the one to rebuild what she'd so casually destroyed. She cried quietly, nodded, and walked out without another word. That night, I slept better than I had in months. People talk about closure like it's something you wait for. Something you get from the person who hurt you. But that's not true. Closure isn't a gift. It's a decision. You decide when you're done bleeding for someone who never brought you peace. I didn't hate her. I just stopped loving someone who didn't know how to value being loved. In the end, I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to prove anything. Her choices brought their own consequences. Mine brought freedom. And sometimes that's the real win. Let me know if you'd like a YouTube voiceover version, title/thumbnail suggestions, or short description copy next.